If you want to understand why your legs grow cold at night, why the heaviness settles in your calves before sleep, why your feet feel distant from the rest of you after 60, the answer is not in a prescription for blood pressure. The answer is not in another pair of compression socks. The answer is in a small cup of something your great-grandmother would have recognized, something the old mountain households of Japan have been drinking quietly for more than 4 centuries. Welcome, my friend. Sit with me a moment. There is a stillness in your legs at night that most doctors will never ask about, a coldness that starts at the toes and climbs slowly to the knees, a weight that feels like the day is still sitting in your calves long after the day is done. This is your circulation speaking to you, and what I will share tonight could mean the difference between walking into your garden at 78 and watching it from a window. Most physicians will not speak of this because it does not fit inside a pill bottle. It cannot be billed in a 15-minute appointment. It is not in the guidelines they are given, but it has quietly restored leg blood flow in the old villages for longer than any modern medicine has existed. My name is Master Takeshi Okamura. For more than 60 years, I have walked the path of Japanese traditional healing, the knowledge passed to me from my grandfather in the mountain town of Kurama, north of Kyoto, and from his grandfather before him. My family has tended to our village for many generations. My grandfather told me something when I was still young, something the elder healers of our village considered the first lesson. He said, all circulation begins in the belly. The warmth of the legs is the gift of a settled stomach. The laboratories of Tokyo and Kyoto are now finding what he knew. The vessels that carry blood to your feet respond to the terrain of your gut, to the inflammation that lives there, to the fibers that feed the bacteria that in turn calm the walls of your arteries. He did not need a microscope to see this. He watched it for 70 years. My grandfather lived to be 91. His mother lived to 94. Her legs carried her through the mountain paths until the last winter of her life. For 7 generations, the women of our village have walked these hills into their 80s, drawing water, tending the small gardens, climbing stone steps that would trouble many people half their age. We have watched few of our elders lose their legs to cold stagnation. Researchers from the outside world have come to our mountains with their notebooks in recent decades. They have measured what my grandfather already knew. The old monks only smiled when they heard their findings. 7 generations is a long study. There is one part of tonight's practice that will surprise you. 9 out of every 10 people who try this drink prepare it in the wrong order, and when the order is wrong, the benefit is thin. The sequence matters more than the ingredients. Watch until the end, and I will show you exactly how. Before I continue, I would ask a small favor. Leave a comment and tell me your age. Tell me how your legs feel in the evening, whether they grow cold or heavy or numb at the end of the day. I read every single comment on this channel, dear friend, and your answers shape what I share in the videos to come. Tonight I will walk with you through 4 things: the specific drink my grandfather prepared each evening, and why it reaches the legs when other teas do not, the way this drink quiets the silent fire that narrows the vessels after 60, the precise sequence of preparation that most people get wrong, and the small circle of supporting practices that turn a single cup into a long season of warm, moving legs. Stay with me until the last one. That is the piece the elder healers of our village guarded most carefully. One more small ask before we begin. If what I share tonight reaches you, a short moment of your time to subscribe would help me carry these old teachings to more elders who need them. It costs nothing. Many of my friends have written to tell me they did not realize they had not yet done this small thing. It helps our community grow. Now, let us begin with the problem itself, because you cannot address what you have not seen clearly. After 60, the small vessels that carry blood to the feet begin to narrow. The lining of the arteries, a delicate layer called the endothelium, loses its supplements. In our tradition, we call this the hardening of the river. When the river hardens, the water cannot reach the far fields. Your feet are the far fields. They are the furthest garden from the heart, and they are the first to suffer when the river stops flowing well. Modern medicine offers blood thinners, statins, and compression. These have their place, but they do not address the terrain of the vessel itself. They do not soften the river. The drink my grandfather made each evening is called hojicha, a roasted green tea that has been prepared in the mountain houses of Japan for more than 400 years. Unlike the bright green sencha, hojicha is gently roasted over charcoal until the leaves turn a warm amber. This roasting is not decorative. It transforms the tea in three ways the modern laboratories have only recently begun to measure. The first is a compound called pyrazine, which forms during the roasting process. Pyrazine has been shown to relax the walls of small blood vessels, easing the grip that tightens them at night. The scientists in their white coats call this vasodilation. My grandfather called it opening the river. The second is that the catechins in the tea, particularly one called EGCG, remain present in roasted form, but become far gentler on an older digestive system. Many elders cannot tolerate strong green tea in the evening because it disturbs the stomach. Hojicha does not. The third change is that the caffeine drops to about 1/3 of standard green tea, which means you can drink it at night without losing your sleep. Researchers at a university in Kyoto followed older adults who drank hojicha each evening and found meaningful improvements in peripheral circulation within several weeks of daily use. The elder healers of our village would have simply nodded. They had watched this quietly for 300 years. Speak with your doctor before making any changes if you are taking blood thinners, because this tea has gentle circulation supporting properties that may work alongside your current medications. Now let me walk you through the preparation exactly as my grandfather taught me. This is the sequence 9 out of 10 people get wrong. First, the water. Boil fresh water and then allow it to cool for roughly 2 full minutes. The water must reach about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, not boiling. Boiling water burns the leaves and strips the tea of its softening compounds. This is the first error most people make. They pour boiling water directly onto the leaves. Second, the leaves. Use 1 level teaspoon of loose leaf hojicha per cup, not a tea bag. Loose leaf, the bag limits the leaves' ability to open. Place the leaves in a small ceramic or clay pot. Metal teapots alter the character of the roast. Third, the pour. Pour the cooled water over the leaves slowly, in a circular motion, allowing the leaves to bloom for 30 seconds before you pour any further water. This initial bloom releases the pyrazines most efficiently. Then steep for 90 seconds. Not 3 minutes, not 5, 90 seconds. Longer steeping releases tannins that constrict rather than relax. Fourth, the timing. Drink the tea slowly, 1 small sip at a time, about 1 hour before bed. Not right before sleep, not with dinner, 1 hour before bed. This window allows the compounds to reach the peripheral vessels as your body is preparing to rest, which is when the small vessels in the legs can absorb the benefits most completely. In the first week, you may notice your feet feel warmer by Friday night. In the first month, the heaviness in your calves begins to ease. By 3 months, many of my friends report they can climb stairs without the slow ache that had become their companion. Margaret Henson, a retired school teacher from Chattanooga, Tennessee, 74 years old, came to me 2 winters ago with legs that felt cold from the knees down every night after 8. Her physician had adjusted her blood pressure medication twice with no real change. What was overlooked was the state of her circulation at the small vessel level. She began the evening hojicha practice exactly as I have just described. Within 6 weeks, the coldness had reduced by roughly 60%, according to her own tracking. She told me, Master Takeshi, for the first time in 3 years, I can stand barefoot on the kitchen floor in the morning without flinching. Her mornings had come back to her. Before I continue with the supporting practices, I want to pause and share something that several of my friends have asked me about in their letters. They ask what I recommend for the belly itself, because so many of the practices I share begin with a settled gut. The one I have landed on after much careful consideration is called Buchbod. It is a gummy, not a pill, which matters to many of the elders I speak with who have grown tired of swallowing capsules. Buchbod contains three things that must work together to restore the inner terrain: the prebiotic fiber that feeds the bacteria, the probiotic strains including lactospore, and a postbiotic called Postbiotics LM1004, which is the actual healing compound the bacteria produce. It also contains dandelion root, an ingredient my grandfather used in the old mountain remedies for the liver and the gentle cleansing of the body. Over 30,000 people are already using it. You can find it in the description below, and please speak to your doctor before starting any supplement. Now, the supporting practices that carry the tea's work deeper into the legs. The first is the warm foot soak, 10 minutes before the tea, in water that reaches your ankles at a temperature of about 104 degrees Fahrenheit. This opens the vessels of the feet and prepares them to receive the tea's work. My grandfather called this waking the far fields. The second is a gentle calf massage, upward from the ankle toward the knee, for 3 minutes per leg, using the palms of your hands with slight pressure. This helps the venous blood return to the heart, which is the other half of good leg circulation. The third is the evening walk, even if only 20 steps across your living room, after the tea has been finished. Movement, while the compounds are active, amplifies their reach into the small vessels. The fourth, and the one the elder healers of our village guarded most carefully, is silence. Sit in silence with the tea. No television, no news, no conversation. The parasympathetic nervous system, what the old ones called the quiet breath, cannot engage when the mind is stirred, and it is the quiet breath that fully opens the vessels. After 60 years of watching what truly works, I offer you 3 small insights. Pair the tea with a small piece of dark chocolate once a week. For the flavonols, amplify the pyrazine effect. Warm the ceramic pot before pouring the water in, because a cold vessel steals heat from the first moment of the brew. Drink from the same cup each night if you can. There is something in the ritual of the familiar vessel that quiets the body. 3 mistakes I have seen again and again. The first is using boiled water, which burns the leaves and strips the softening compounds. The fix is to let the water cool for 2 full minutes. The second is drinking the tea right before bed, which can stir digestion and disrupt sleep. The fix is the 1-hour window. The third is skipping the silence, which many people find hardest. The fix is to begin with 3 minutes of quiet and build from there. My friend, when I speak of legs that move and feet that feel warm, I am not truly speaking of legs and feet. I am speaking of the mornings you will walk into your garden at 78, the afternoons you will carry a grandchild on your hip without sitting down, the evenings you will stand at the stove and stir a pot the way your mother did. It is never too late. The body at 75 and 80 still knows how to heal. My grandfather taught me this when he was 90, and his own mother told him the same at 94. You are the steward of this body, and the small nightly practice I have shared with you tonight is a gift you give to the years ahead. Let me gather it for you. The hojicha tea, cooled water at 175 degrees, 90 seconds of steeping, 1 hour before bed. The warm foot soak to wake the far fields. The gentle calf massage upward from ankle to knee. The 20 steps of movement after the cup is finished. And the quiet, which is the breath that opens the river. If tonight's teaching has reached you, dear friend, subscribe so I can continue walking with you in the evenings to come. Share this with the sibling or the old friend whose legs have grown cold at night, because this is the kind of thing we must pass to one another. Tell me in the comments which of the 5 practices you will begin first. I read every single comment on this channel, and I will be reading for yours. And if you wish to look at the butch pod I mentioned earlier, the link is waiting in the description whenever you are ready. Rest well tonight, my friend. Warm legs to you.